This episode of Soul Decodes is pre-recorded, but Sarah and Tia Jolie felt it compelling enough to share with you today. We hope you agree.
The following Earth Angel Media presentation is brought to you commercial-free as a gratuity from the sponsor producer named after the show. Please consider their message. Find other high-value shows listed at earthangelproject.com. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Soul Decodes. Join us as we wander off the path to find the ideas that fascinate. We talk about spirituality, the mind, the ego, wellness, and hidden history with tips, travels, and tales. Charms for a better life.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Jolie Phillips, and I'm here at the Treehouse Studio on Phillips Island. It's beautiful Central Florida, and I'm with author and writer Sarah Tirri. She's a philosopher and a thinker. And Sarah, I had a great time at your party last week, but you have some things on your mind.
Well, the first one is the rain. I'm just so thankful for the rain because my sprinkler system's not working, and I just sat in, before I arrived, I sat in this storm. And I was looking across the lake, and it was just a massive amount of rain. And my German Shepherd loves the rain. It's the only dog I've ever had that just loves running around in the rain. So my grass is soaked now, which is really good because It was getting brown. And then I called the sprinkler company, and they had 2 employees out. So I prayed for rain. Here it is.
Well, it's so funny because this we're from Michigan. And when we moved to Florida, we're like, what is this place?
What is this swamp?
I put something in the ground and it didn't grow. And it's like, yeah, this is a completely different.
Do you have a sprinkler system here to grow all your stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we do, but
Do you just hose it at night?
Well, we're in the process. We're using a process called Permaculture. And what happens is we're trying to restore the soil. So instead of it being the sandy, weedy, sandy soil that Central Florida knows.
It's built on, yeah.
We build the soil. We put a lot of dead decaying plant matter, plant fibers, like just chop and drop, and just wood chips and things like that. We let them, go 6 months or a year, rain, and just they decay, and the fungus and the bacteria break those down, and it forms this really rich soil. I'll walk you out there and let you put your hand in there.
But does it need the same amount of water then? Or is it holding it?
Think of it like a sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those plant fibers, once they start to break down, they become like a coral reef. Inside of the fibers, there's bacteria and fungus living in the soil. And as it breaks down, it's like this happy little universe under the soil. And they do need some degree of moisture pretty consistently.
So you're not out there every night? I mean, because we haven't had rain for weeks.
No, we're out there maybe a couple times. Well, if it's the nursery plants, like if we just planted seeds, we're out there every day, just sprinkle them until they root. But then once they're actually in the soil, we can go probably a few days without watering them. But we have this right here on the property on Phillips Island. We have this friend of mine. His name's Paul. He comes by. He's got a BioChar.
What's that?
BioChar is
BioChar.
BioChar. This is like a really big deal in the Amazon. When they were looking, the explorers were looking in the Amazon. They found these pockets of the area where the soil was like extremely rich and very vibrant, and you could put something in the soil and it would just grow, right? Anything. And what they found was that was where the villagers in each of these villages used to burn all their stuff. Well, it's not about just burning things because that puts carbon into the air. Yeah. It's their massive piles were so big that they had at the bottom of the pile what's called an anaerobic burn. And the anaerobic burn means without oxygen. Wow. So we duplicate that here on Phillips Island. We have these kilns.
Like Jane Fonda work.
I know, right? I know, right? So we have these kilns right out in back on Phillips Island where Paul comes in. People give us their scrap, like bamboo, and we chop it and we put it in this kiln and we burn it. But there's no vents.
Did you make your kiln or did you buy it?
Paul made it, and we have multiple kilns back there.
Right, and is that quite a rudiment? Is that a simple structure?
Oh, it's just like a bathtub. It's like
Right.
there's no vents underneath it. It's
Okay.
just tapered.
And how do you keep all the heat in it?
Well, this is the thing is, it's first of all, it's welded like metal, iron. It's iron. And so what happens is Paul formulates it so that the entire, all of the burning, the oxidization is at the top surface. So this thing is like maybe 2.5, 3 feet deep. Wow. And what happens is all of the char, all of the bamboo that's at the bottom, it burns, but it burns anaerobically because there's no air down there.
Yeah.
So it burns, but it burns in a way that does not release the carbon into the air. The carbon actually stays in the fiber. And in doing so, it creates what I call a coral reef. Yeah. If you've ever had if you've had a forest fire, if you've gone to like a campfire, there's a bunch of ash, but inside of the ash there's that black structure. There's like this. It's this black structure. It looks like a log.
I used to drive through Spain with my dad when I was a kid, and we came across on a ferry and we to Burgos, and we drove right through Spain. And I was probably about 10 years old, and they were just burning. We were in rural Spain. We were driving just right through it down to the south, and it was just burning fields. It was very atmospheric, and they were doing burning to get carbon to go back into the ground. That's why they were doing that. They were just burning fields.
Yeah, and sometimes people burn fields because that's a very effective way to get rid of pests, like the sugarcane fields here.
But you've got carbon going into the atmosphere, which is a no-no, isn't it?
Well, that's a whole different discussion because you've been perpetrated fraud. There's a lot of fraud perpetrated
But you're making the point that this is a carbon-free thing that you're doing in the kiln. So why is that to our advantage that that's carbon-free
so what you're going to see
in the atmosphere?
Yeah, so what you're going to see is that when we do these burns, there's almost no smoke released.
Yeah.
Like and you could test the top with an IR temperature thing, infrared temperature.
And then the smoke goes in to form this coral reef, which is good for growing stuff.
Yeah, so what you're going to end up with is this molecular, it's like a structure. It looks like coral, but it's actually the former structure of the bamboo. Yeah. So it's got the fibery structure, but it's carbon. It's pure carbon because the carbon stays.
And plants love that.
They not only love it. So what we do is we take the carbon that is left over from the burn.
So how much do you get in one kiln burn then, in pounds?
Wait, let me finish this.
Oh yeah.
So we have literally like this whole area in the studio. What is this rug?
This rug, yeah.
This rug's maybe 9 by 12.
Yes.
It would be this amount, maybe 10 inches deep.
A lot.
10 inches deep, lots. So, but here's what we do: we let it cool. We squelch it with water, let it cool. Then we drain the water, and now we've got this beautiful carbon structure, and we inoculate it. We inoculate the structure with worm castings.
Okay.
And then we have this fungus and bacteria from these beautiful worm castings, and it goes.
And the worm casting is their poop.
It's the poop, yeah. It's their cast off.
So do you put worms in this to have them poop?
Well, the worms need food.
Right.
So we just...
Where'd you get the worms?
Oh, they're all over the place.
Yeah, I have a lot of worms in my old place.
Yeah, if you have good soil, you have worms.
Yeah.
So, but the castings, what they do is they inoculate. They provide...
Inoculate means...
provide an initial source of fungus and bacteria.
Right.
So we feed the fungus and bacteria in these bins, and that's a 500-year fertilizer.
Whoa!
Yeah. So once you do this process,
and how much of that would you need if you planted a baby orange tree?
Oh gosh,
a cupful?
Maybe 2 cups.
Wow.
Yeah,
so that's going to go a long way. And then how often do you rotate this massive? I mean, how long? What's the cycle of this one batch, which is 8 by 10 and a foot deep? How many of those do you do a year?
Well, dozens.
Oh, do you really? Wow.
Even hundreds, yeah. But the thing is, what's neat is the thing about biochar is once we introduce it into the soil, that it can get very, very dry or very, very wet, but the fungus and the bacteria always have a home. It's like a safe haven for them, so that as soon as the rains come again, I don't need to replenish the soil. The fungus and bacteria are already there.
So it's just a little ecosystem.
It's a little ecosystem.
Itself.
So then when you put layers and layers of mulch on top, then what happens is there's a homeostasis under the soil. There's not extreme heat. There's not extreme drought. we give those babies our little
incubator.
It's an incubator. Yeah. You're brilliant. You get this stuff.
Well, it's so great. I love it.
So if you put an orange,
be doing this at large, though, right? This is an example of how we should be cultivating our land.
We have a huge number of us here in Central Florida that do these permaculture principles. But there's people across the country.
So you need a kiln. So what's the incentive for people to do this? Is it quite reasonably inexpensive to get a kiln?
I'd have to ask Paul, but there's small, medium, and large.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't need as much as you're doing. I mean, you're doing this on quite a large scale.
Yeah, we're doing industrial volumes of it. So, but certainly he sells these probably 2-foot metal rings. They're just fire pits. But the key is they don't breathe underneath. So you stack them full as you can with the raw material, and then you want the burn to just be on the top, so that you're releasing the minimum amount of carbon to the air and you're keeping the maximum amount of carbon in the fiber. So I love our meetings.
Great. So
I didn't expect we'd talk about BioChar today.
I don't expect anything in this show. We just go with it. But so this is an example of how to lovingly nurture and cultivate this planet. This is you're giving the soil a mechanism for replenishing itself.
Absolutely, because the idea with permaculture is to do the minimum disruption. If you go out, if we go out to I call it the back nine here on Phillips Island. If we go to the back nine and there's an avocado tree just randomly growing, and there's a bunch of weeds and stuff around it. I don't want to disrupt the soil, because what's going on underneath the soil is a beautiful thing. There's you'll see these little strands of white. They're called mycelium. It's like this. Have you ever seen the movie? It was like a cartoon called The Avatar. Or no, it's not the cartoon. It was actually like a.
The movie Avatar.
The movie Avatar.
I loved
okay.
it. Yes.
Great movie.
Yeah.
The way the trees and the plants communicated.
Yeah, that was great.
That's a real deal.
Wow.
That's not mythical. That is exactly.
I wonder who wrote that. That's interesting.
And they actually communicate through the mycelium. Oh. And the mycelium, they know what's going on around them. So we want to not disrupt what's going on. Same with your body's gut. Like the lining of your gut. You want to be minimally disruptive to your gut. And I have a seminar I give away for free. It's in my website. You just go get it right now.
So talking about being minimally disruptive in our bodies. So over the course of the last month, I moved house. And I'm going to tie this into a conversation I had with a friend this morning. And I had drawers full of photo albums. I mean, just so many photos over the years. Before we had cameras, I was a nutcase taking photos.
I've got cases of them.
And it was I hadn't seen these photos for 20 years. It was so I saw pictures of myself, and I'd done this photo shoot. And at that point, I was either going to model or I was going to become a flight attendant. And I chose to become a flight attendant because my dad talked me into that, because this had structure to it. Modeling would have been, I would have imploded had I gone down that path. But I looked at my body and I'd forgotten what I looked like when I was lean, because I'd been carrying some weight. No, but I do have this gut, right? So, and I just thought, you know what? This is how I'm supposed to look.
When you walk downtown, everybody's looking at you.
Yeah, well, I'm sucking my stomach in and I'm covering up this bulge. So I was looking at photographs when I was a little girl, and I was very lean, but I always had a pot belly when I was 5 and 6. So I carry weight right around my middle. I don't carry it anywhere else. And then I was looking at these photographs and I was 21. And I'm thinking, Sarah, there's no reason that you're carrying this fat on your body. You were built, this is your body shape. And I was 125 pounds, 5'9", so I was very lean. So I've been in the process of recapturing that body shape. And I wanted to talk to you about fat, the implications of carrying body weight. So anyway, this is the journey I'm on. And I've been very disciplined. Loads of fruit, thanks to you. Not microwaving water, thanks to you. Drinking lots of water, saying a prayer over it. But I'm doing a lot of vegan. I had to do a bit of protein, but I'm doing just Atlantic caught salmon, and it's working wonders, and I feel great. So I'm going to get my body back down to being totally lean again. And then a friend of mine called this morning. You've spoken to her. Now, she's 82 and she's got bronchitis at the moment. And she's also found out that she's got an enlarged heart because she had to go to the emergency room. And we were talking this morning, and we talked candidly. and she's 40 pounds overweight and she's not exercising. And then we were laughing. She said, I don't know what's causing this. And we were going back and forth. And is the implications of carrying 40 pounds and not exercising, it's going to put a stress on your organs, right? So we should be the leanest. We should be like we're in our 20s, right? That's kind of what we should be doing. So this has been my journey, but I want to know what you think about that. And then I want to talk about the mental implications of health, but just being an ideal body weight, what is that? And I feel like I don't want to have any excess fat on my body.
Sure. Well, thank you for sharing all that. I never know where this is going to go.
Digging out these photo albums, it gets me thinking.
But so you asked a bunch of questions there. What I would say is this: I typically don't talk one-on-one with, on a microphone about your health, but I can speak in generalities.
Sure.
When I meet somebody, there's 3 things I tell them right up front. And I'll tell you this too. I'll tell everybody listening. Number 1, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't practice that religion. I don't believe in that religion. I'm a PhD. I'm interested in the actual science, the actual what's going on in your blood chemistry. What is your body trying to tell you? What do we have to do to bring your body to normal, the way it would have been if you grew up in the Garden of Eden? What if you were that healthy, where you're just in the garden and you're part of the garden and the garden is part of you? What would that be like? And how powerful would you be? Would you be stressed? Would you be overweight? Would you be sleeping at night? The answer is probably yes to all those. So our divergence from pristine, perfect health is really a function of the decisions we make. So the first thing is, I'm not a medical doctor. I look at the real, what's going on with you, and I ask questions. And I treat you as a divine sovereign, as this beautiful princess, and I'm just an advisor. My job is...
But I don't think you have to have a PhD in holistic medicine or be an MD. I think this is 2 women just talking about body weight and health. I mean, we should all take responsibility. I think, let me ask you this, is not having any body fat, that sounds logical to me, and it sounds common sense, whether I knew anything about medicine or the body or not. Is that right? Is being lean important?
Well, so let me address body fat in a moment, because I always have to put these 3 things out there, because I think it's important to we've been brainwashed. So you remember when we were children, we used to say, well, I'm going to get a second, your medical doctor says something and somebody says, well, I'm going to get a second opinion. Do you remember that? Getting a second opinion used to be a thing. It used to be something that everybody suggested. But now it's like, no, you're going to walk in and some person in a white medical schmuck with their little heart listening device, right? They're going to look all official with their little pocket protector and whatever they do. And they're going to be the expert, and you're going to shut up and listen to them, right? Because you're told from grade school to sit down, shut up, color in the lines. Cows are not purple, dear. Cows are brown, not purple, right? And this is an expert, and you're to shut up and listen. They're smarter than you, right? So my world is just the opposite. You are smarter than you think you are. You're brilliant. You're divine. You're intelligent. You have the seeds of awesomeness right within you, but you've been dumbed down. You've been convinced that you're not worthy, you're broken, you're incomplete, you're not tall enough, you're not slim enough, you're not all of these things. And it's just wrong.
But I'm not talking about losing weight as a vanity issue. No. I'm talking about, is this good for us in a physiological sense?
Yeah, I'm talking about your relationship with knowledge and wisdom.
Right, okay.
And my point is, you have more knowledge, and you woke up this morning. I say you, but I mean people in general, right? The listeners. Yeah. You woke up this morning with all of the knowledge and wisdom that you need to live your life. But the problem is your monkey brain that's inside of your cranium here,
which is being programmed
by God knows who, is convincing you that you don't. So you have all this static. You have these monkeys in your brain. What do monkeys do? They throw poop. They rattle the cage. They make funny faces. They don't. You have to find a way to listen to your core self, your core wisdom, your divine self, and it's going to guide you, right?
Yes, I absolutely believe that.
But then you talk to your friends. So number 1,
I mean, if you go to see a doctor, you would take what he says under advisement, right? I'm going to listen to what he says. But you don't believe that.
But that's not where we are today. We have people are going to their graves
God.
Because they're listening to an uneducated medical doctors know. And if you're a medical doctor listening, this is not a categorical statement. There are some of you who actually reach out to people like me and my peers. You comprehend that your medical training is incomplete.
Yes.
Without a full knowledge of health.
And that's
wellness.
going to be ongoing, your medical training, isn't it?
No, it's not.
But it should be. As a doctor, you would think this is going to be a lifelong pursuit of knowledge. It's like me with metaphysics. I haven't stopped anywhere. I'm just going to keep gleaning knowledge in the area of my expertise.
Exactly. The one thing, when I finished my PhD, the only thing I really knew is how dumb I was. Like, I was like, wow.
I love that.
I just, wow. And so I'm a student. If somebody calls me an expert, that's a 4-letter word because I'm not an expert. I'm a student. I'm always learning, and I'm just sharing what I learned.
Yeah, exactly.
And so,
well said.
So anyway, a medical doctor, a lot of them they're turning around. They're saying, okay, yeah, I understand they have a blind spot here. They have a complete blind spot with respect to health and wellness. They're understanding that they've been funded by a broken, corrupt pharmaceutical system that is really out of control.
Yes.
And they're starting, the medical community, as a rule, the ones who are aware are starting to reel themselves in. Now, so the first thing is I'm not part of that community. Yeah. The second thing is I'm ordained. So when I'm talking to somebody one-on-one, it's between us. It's between us and our infinite source. I don't talk to anybody about it. Unless you tell them on the microphone something.
Well, you never know what comes up on this mic at Phillips Island.
But then the third thing is, like, I encourage people to question everything. Yeah. Not because I'm wrong. In fact, I'm probably closer to right. You know, you've got pieces of the puzzle and I've got pieces. So we have to kind of compare notes. And so now to answer your question about fat, our body needs fat. We need healthy fat. We don't need the fat that hangs around your butt and your hips.
You don't need any of this.
But you do need fat. It doesn't mean you need to eat fat. Your body, I've had people say, oh, well, I only drink healthy oils. There are no healthy oils. Oh, no, but it's olive oil. It's coconut oil. There are no healthy oils. Really? Your body doesn't need oil. Your body
How
needs...
do we get fat then, healthy fat?
Well, you eat foods that have...
So an avocado's great.
Essential fatty acids.
Yeah.
When you eat an avocado... Yes, it's got this oiliness, but those are essential fatty acids.
So you can be very lean and still have body fat, but it's not going to be displayed as the stuff that hangs over your genes.
Well, let's talk about your beautiful brain. Like you're a thinker, you're a philosopher, you've got this freaking amazing brain inside of your cranium there, right? Your brain is mostly fat.
Yeah.
So the question is, if your brain is if your brain is mostly fat, do you want your fat to be the highest quality fat, or do you want it to be like the substandard?
God, yeah.
No. Well, there's the fats that are in your brain don't come from drinking olive oil. They come from if you drink olive oil.
It's the cholesterol in omega fatty acids.
It's essential fatty acids.
So where do you get that being a vegan then?
So I'm not a vegan.
Oh, you're not?
I'm a plant-based eater.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Okay, so
do you have any dead animals or fish?
So here's the thing. The answer is yes.
Oh.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
Very
but generally,
rarely.
I'm talking about
so
you.
A vegan is defined. I've had some vegans that are extremely not healthy. Just because you're not eating a dead animal or drinking mammal milk from a different species doesn't mean you're healthy. I have vegans that come across they're fat. They're
French fries and beer, that's their vegan diet.
Look, French fries, beer, Oreo cookies, Doritos, those are all, those are just
so that I see why you're making that a plant-based
right.
diet.
So a vegan is defined by what they don't do.
Right, I see.
I'm defined affirmatively.
By what I do.
I'm a plant-based eater. That means that most of my calories come from wherever possible, raw fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
When I go to your party...
Where do the omega fatty acids come in the fruit and vegetables? Where do you get them?
Well, I've got the best chia seed in the world. I put that on almost everything.
Oh, so that's the omega fat, right.
And you can get it from hemp. You can get hemp kernels. There's a lot of things from nature.
Okay, because I really want to stay on what I'm doing, but I do want these omega
Let me
fatty
just have
acids.
you walk out the door today. I've got some bags of chia seed that are grown in the tropics. They're actually grown in volcanic soil, so it's got all this mineral and is grown within 3 degrees of the tropics, like of the equator. So the sun's there and it's a blend. So basically you got this blend of chia seed from multiple different types of chia plant. It's harvested and flash frozen. It's shipped up here to the States, micro-sliced open. So when I open it, it's maybe been off the plant for 6 minutes. If you're going to have, like, your brain of the future is going to be a function of, like, your entire body is going to be brand new in 7 years. Every cell is going to replace
it's
itself.
Hopeful, isn't it?
It's a beautiful thing. In fact, people with gut
7
issues.
7 year cycles.
7 years. Your blood, 4 months.
Yeah.
3 times a year, your blood replaces itself.
Yeah.
So you want your blood to be very clean, like that's your river. So
these chia seeds, you eat a handful of them a day or something?
They'll pick up whatever flavor you have. I put them in my breakfast smoothies sometimes.
Yeah.
You can sprinkle them on the salad.
So the ones that I got from Pure Life, they were split open. They were fantastic in a smoothie.
That's the best one I've got.
So one of those a day, and then I've got my omegas, have I? Is that...
Yeah, you don't even need your other omegas.
So that will be good enough in
There's so much omega in the...
So that's what we need to have the correct amount of fat, cholesterol in our body, the healthy stuff.
Yeah, you do need some other, like, okay, let's just talk about omegas as an example. You have omegas 3s, 6, 9s, 12s. They all have different purposes. Like, you do need some 6, 9s, and 12s. You get those usually from, different grains and things like that. But it's such a small amount that you need. Most people eat way too many cereals, grains, pastas.
I don't eat any cereal anymore, any bread.
No, most people eat too much. What you want, it's not so much about...
I miss cereal, though. Miss a bowl of cereal. And I always thought, if Weetabix we had in England, and it's all this, I don't know what wheat, it was wheat, I guess, but it was in this kind of log, and I loved it, you saturate. But we were always thought, this is a really healthy breakfast.
But and that's fine, because the wheat, when you were a child, is very different than the wheat we have now. Right. So let's talk about the midriff weight.
Yeah, this bloody roll here, which I'm getting rid of.
Is that extra calories?
Yes.
Or is it excess?
No, this is lack of discipline.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, it is.
Well, maybe it is.
It is. It definitely is.
I don't know you as well as you do.
It's eating too many calories over this. This has happened in the last 5 years, and I gained probably about 25. But I'm tall, so I can carry it.
You carry it well.
Yeah. But I want to be lean. I want to have my body fat measured. And part of this is well, look, we're comparing belly rolls here. So part of this is vanity, because I have a wardrobe of clothes I want to wear for this upcoming events we're doing. So part of it's vanity. But I believe that just getting our bodies to be lean in a healthy way, this should be what we're aiming at, right?
So here's my question to you.
Nice tan, by the way.
You like that? So if you're carrying extra...
And a nice belly button piercing.
You like that?
I love that. Wow, I love that. That's really nice. My daughter has one. When I lose this belly fat, maybe I'll get one.
I guess everybody knows I have a piercing.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's beautiful. Maybe with diamonds.
Little diamonds in the belly button never hurt.
It's lovely.
So what we were talking about, you just took me off track. Okay, so let me ask you a simple question. We've been taught that if we have excess adipose tissue fat, like tissue fat,
yes,
that it's from too many calories. Mm-hmm. Very few of us are explaining that that extra fat you're carrying is not always excess calories. It's sometimes excess chemicals.
Oh.
Because what happens when you have too many chemicals, what happens during the day is you're active. What should happen is you're active, you're moving your legs, you're moving your feet, your ankles are doing this, you're firing your calves. All of your waste goes into, most of it goes through your lymphatic system. And if you're sedentary, it settles in your legs. Have you ever seen people with these legs that are this big, right?
Yes.
Well, that's they're toxic.
Lymphoma.
And their lymphatic system...
Not lymphoma, no, it's not the word.
Their lymphatic system is your sewage system.
Oh, God.
And it doesn't have its own pump. Like your heart has a pump, right? Pumps. Mm-hmm. It's really not what it is, but for our conversation...
Lymphedema, that was the word.
Lymphedema.
Yeah.
So you have these swollen areas because your lymphatic system is sluggish. It's like sludge, right? And you're not pumping it.
And is it gravity that it goes down into your legs then?
Yeah, so like what happens if you just sit all day, the circulation to your legs is nil. But if you just do things like this, like, flex your legs or jump rope or something simple, and you're firing your calves, you pump it up. So what happens is that sewage that's here gets pumped up through the lymphatic system to a lymph node. Yeah. A lymph node is like a check valve, and it gets pumped up from your bottom north, and then once it hits that node, it won't go back south. Then you bend your knee 90 degrees, like you march, right? You bend your knee, and that pumps it up to your hips, and then you twist your hips and you dance and you.
Well, I've got these 2 staircases in my house. It's got one on the left and right, so I do this circuit with my dogs. I come down and up, and I'm doing this because I have to let the dogs out.
But that'll keep you alive.
It's been absolutely great.
But when you bend your knees 90 degrees, you're actually pumping the lymph up higher. Now, what should happen is that lymph, because you're so active, should come up to through your torso, and by the end of the day, you've been active, and it pumps on the left side of your body. It pumps underneath your clavicle into what's called the subclavian vein, and it dumps on top of your torso. And on the left side, there's the mid-thoracic duct, and it dumps on top of your torso. And then what happens is it settles on top of your liver.
Oh, right. So where's your liver then?
Your liver spans
right here.
It's right it's right under your rib cage there.
So this is where.
But guess what? Now here's where we're going to talk about fat. So your liver's here, and your liver's amazing. It loves you. It wants to do everything for you. So all this toxicity that's falling on top of your liver, when you go to bed and you're asleep from 10 p.m. till 3 a.m., that's when your liver's recycle, reuse. It's doing all this stuff, right? Recycle, reuse. It's just kicking butt for you. If you go to bed late and you're awake until 2 in the morning, well, you just took 80% of your liver's detox ability away because it's functioning while you're deep asleep, right? So if you're not sleeping well, you're going to get toxic. So it's not just, is this not about like one thing? Fresh air, sunshine, hugs, kisses, prayer, meditation, all of these things play into your wellness. Well, guess what happens every single day in a perfect world? Your liver takes the toxins of the previous day and gets rid of them at night, right? So daytime goes, you get rid of them at night, you poop, you start over, rinse, repeat. Well, guess what happens to the toxicity when your liver can't get rid of it all? There's 2 types of toxins. There's hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means you can dissolve it in water, or it's soluble in water. And there's lipophilic, which is lipids, fatties. Most of the toxicity we have is lipophilic. The chemicals, the fertilizers, the sprays, the detergents, the phthalates, the things in our creams and lotions, those are all endocrine disruptors. They're toxic, and they're going to accrete. Our body, if we can't get rid of those accretions, those toxic accretions, and our liver can't get rid of them, then guess where they go? Your body is so smart that it takes those toxins and it wraps them in fat. And then it sticks it on the shelf until you clean up your act and your body can go get those bundles of toxins that are wrapped in fat, and then they can start to get rid of them. When I see severely obese people, I have sadness because they're toxic. I barely eat anything. You're toxic. I have people that are doing everything right, but I ask them, when someone comes in and they say, oh, I can't lose weight, how do you deal with stress? Oh, I'm a piece of work. I'm a stress ball. Well, guess what? Enjoy your weight, because as long as you remain in what's called sympathetic dominance, which is stress dominance, you never get to the rest repair.
And you've told yourself you can't change.
Well, it's that, plus if you're always stressed, you're never resting. Your liver detoxes when you're resting.
Well, stress to me is just constantly processing stuff through your monkey brain. That's where stress sits all the time. To get out of mental stress, you just need to learn to meditate and come back into awareness. So this then, I would say, is a lack of discipline, and I've taken in calories. But what you're saying, it could be that this is just where there's some toxins stored.
It's a little bit of both.
So it's a bit of both,
right? Or
one or the other, or a bit of both.
So it's almost always.
I cleaned up my diet, cut back on wine. I had a little bit of wine when we were at Jean's, and then up and down this fucking staircase that I've got all day long. So that's what I've been doing. So I'm looking forward to.
But you look amazing. So, but it's we didn't get to this place where we have this extra weight. We didn't get there overnight.
No, this has been a few years.
Just be patient. Your body wants to be young and athletic.
It's not a strong point of mine, though. I like it done and quickly.
I know. Well, you and I are the same.
Oh, a hawk has just landed. There's a big one. Wow. Yeah, he just flew in through that window as we were talking. Oh. Well, yeah, he's here to cheerlead me on. Go, Sarah.
We have hawks and we have falcons.
Well, this has been a very interesting
I totally didn't know where we're going with this, but
There we go. Well, next time we get together, I'll give you a progress report.
I hope this is beneficial to you.
I'm looking forward to getting my belly button pierced now when I lose my belly fat.
Well, I'll tell you this much. You were talking about your mind, and I had this picture on my phone for like 3 years when I was losing my belly weight. And it was a picture of a midriff with a pierced navel that I loved.
So that was your inspiration.
And every time I turned on my phone, I'm like, oh. Yeah. And so, and when I wanted to do something bad and I pick up my phone, I'm like, nope.
Yeah, that's
this is
great.
where I'm going.
Yeah,
and
motivation.
I promised myself I wouldn't delete the picture until I had my piercing.
Well, it looks fabulous.
Oh, you're so sweet. God bless you. Thank you so much.
For all that good information. It's been wonderful.
I totally didn't know we were going to go there. Thank you so much.
Right.
Let's meet up pretty quickly. I don't like when too much time ticks off the clock.
All right. Okay, let's do it
again.
Thank you,
my love.
Thank you, my love.
You're welcome.
Soul Decodes, a feature presentation, airs every Friday on the Earth Angel Media Network. This episode of Soul Decodes is sponsored and produced by Live Pure. Optimize your life by taking your health to the next level. Listen now to learn how Live Pure will make your world better.
Live Pure is an American-based distribution system of online portals that give discounted access to clean, potent, natural, and ethically sourced healthy solutions for fat loss, muscle gain, immaculate skin care, immune system support, whole body cleanse, physiological balance, and performance support for athletes of all ages. Live Pure handpicks the best products and nutrients from world-class companies, always adding to their quickly growing wellness lineup that now includes Korean skincare, medical-grade nutraceuticals listed as pharmaceutical alternatives in the physician's desk reference, and healthy coffee that rivals the world's best, but for only about $1 per cup. Soul Decodes listeners looking for vitality, youth, beauty, and better health can get 25% off retail by visiting livepure.com/Sarah Tirri and signing up for free as a preferred customer. If you are a content creator, influencer, or home-based entrepreneur looking for worldwide cash flows from the emerging gig economy, Live Pure's state-of-the-industry brand partner affiliate program can bring you up to 7 different payment vectors as bonuses. As a content creator aligned with Live Pure and Earth Angel Media, you will enjoy massive co-marketing benefits, including a cutting-edge website that is personally branded to you or to your business. Sign up as a brand partner at livepure.com/Sarah Tirri, or drop us a note at connect@earthangelproject.com to get more information.